Okay, it's May the 8th, 2023, and I'm back with another video. And this was of a dream that I had around April 28th. Okay, so at the beginning of this dream, or the part that I first remember, I was in some type of a church with another person that I knew. And the people were very arrogant and like mega church like. It was just not a godly place. They were all about man and starring and all that stuff. So I wanted to get out of there. And I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, I said, because they were puffed up. So the next thing I remember, I shared this dream in my garden update video just a couple days ago. So anyway, but I didn't have it in front of me, so, I wanted to get the details. So next thing I remember, I was in an underground place of much activity. There were dangers and punishment there, torments and stations. I was being taken and led through there. I knew I was in trouble, but somehow I knew when I came past really bad torments, I wouldn't be subject to them, no matter how it looked. But I didn't know what would happen to me. Then another figure, in addition to the one that was escorting me, came up along my left side, up against me. They said nothing. Then the second one took me and put me into something about 2 feet by 3 feet or so, and made of aluminum or shiny metal, with a door like a small refrigerator. It was a hot box or a furnace. It wasn't very hot. He said, you would think it would be like burning hot, but I didn't really feel the heat. He said, I would be better after this punishment. Like I had to endure it to get something out of me. I was scared. I was unfit and was on the wrong track and going to hell. I said, help me, I need help, because I figured by that time he was an angel. He said, I do, I do. It was like he was letting me know he was who I thought he was, my angel, who was always with me and showed me God's mercy continually. Then I knew I had to be as real as possible. I said, I need help, meaning I want to be better. He was so kind-hearted and gracious, loyal to God and above our sinful foolishness. At first glance, he was extremely handsome, perfect. He was big and strapping, but as I was looking steadfastly at him, he wasn't perfectly classically handsome. Like the overall appearance that you get was beautiful indeed. But when you look at the direct features, it's not that classic beauty that we think about. Like, for instance, his teeth. I remember his teeth and his gums. Like, we'd be looking for like perfect straight teeth, like Solomon talked about his love. This woman he was admiring, her teeth were like rows of perfect pearls. And then, you know, that's probably where we get the phrase pearly whites from. But his teeth, each one had like a little gap in between them. But all together, it came together into a beautiful smile. Like a baby, a kid. You don't judge a kid by little different features like that. They just come off as adorable. So anyway, because of the joy that's coming out of them, that's what it is. So, but he had flaws. Like in his looks, he had flaws, but yet he came off perfectly beautiful. Okay? Because beauty is not the way we define it. Real beauty is not the way that we think of it. He smiled easily from an overwhelming inner joy. Like you would think at a time like that, why would he be smiling? It's because when I got real, it just freed him up. Like I got it, you know what I mean? Like I got my punishment. I understood it. So there was no reason for him to be somber and harsh. It was good news at that point because I repented. And he could turn to the joyful part of his job. You know, the angel of the Lord swings a sword for the Lord, but he also comes and brings a blessing. So, okay, it says, once my request broke his initial stony seriousness. Once I sincerely said I need help. Okay. Then he said the things that I wrote, that he told me to help me. Okay. This angel, I'm going to tell you some stuff about this angel. Not that this really matters. But this angel had a country accent. He was like a big country boy. And he was black. He seemed like he was maybe in his 30s, mid-late 30s. But at the same time, he didn't really have an age because he was, you know, peak strength. He had on a blue-collar shirt. And what I mean by blue-collar shirt, if you ever seen like if you go to a car dealership or something, and the mechanics that work on your car, they wear those blue shirts with the name patch on it, like it's a whole patch on the shirt. He had that on, and his name was written on there. On the right side of his shirt, his name was there. And but when you wear something, like sometimes it crinkles up like that when you're bending over and doing stuff. So I couldn't see his name, and I knew that I was not supposed to, like I had no business to know his name. It's kind of like how when Jacob asked the angel that blessed him and changed his name to Israel, he said, "What is your name?" And the angel said, "Wherefore do you inquire after my name?" Like, you don't need to know my name. They don't get friendly with us because we're sinful. We have the potential for sin. Sin does so easily beset us, and they got a job to do. They don't fool around with us. It's kind of like when you go certain places, if a godly man go to the beach or walk past the beach, in order to maintain his godliness, he had to do stuff like this. That's how the angels are. They don't rub up against us. So he had on a blue collar shirt with one of those name tag patches sewn on the right side. The fabric was bunched in such a way that I could not see his name, which I wanted very much to see. But it stayed in such a way that I couldn't see it the whole time. And for some reason, I felt like I didn't have the right to ask, and it was somehow inappropriate. I didn't even want this angel who was black, like I said, I didn't even want him to see me trying to look at his name because I knew it was inappropriate. So, Okay. All right. So now, when I read this book was from this year that I just read from. This book is from 2016, dreams I wrote in there. And when I, looking back through this dream book from 2016, just like that dream right there was punishments and you on your way to hell and you better get yourself together, this book is full of those too, okay? But since they were personal to me, I didn't always share those. And plus, that's just not, that's just not a good look. But it's never changed. It's like, thy rod and thy staff, they do comfort me. So the Lord leads us along with his rod, with, a little shepherd's hook. He'd pull you back and guide you and lead you in the path of righteousness. But he can also take that stick and knock you on the head with it. It's a rod. So it takes all of that to keep us in line. When you're driving a car, you're going like this. To keep the car on the straight and narrow, and to keep the person on the straight and narrow, they need the nurture and the admonition of the Lord. You need the staff to lead you, and you need the rod to correct you. That's just the way it is. That's the way it always is with me. Now, if there's somebody out there that's perfect, that's you, that's good, but that's not me. But what we're doing is working out our salvation. I'm going to pull up a few scriptures and then I'm going to go. We're working out our salvation with fear and trembling. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Auntie.
Hi.
You know he's been looking for you all day.
Really?
All day for hours.
Okay. All right, I'll come downstairs in like 10 minutes.
You see, Auntie?
Wow.
There's two. Ass.
He was looking for you downstairs. He was trying to go down in the basement, and he was like opening it, saying your name, like.
In the basement?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I was like, no, because we were like, she's asleep. But this was like all day. Could you hear her the whole conversation just now?
Mm-mm. I'll finish this later.
He kept saying, Auntie's garden.
Oh yeah, that's where we're supposed to go today.
Auntie's